Airbus and Boeing have been competing head-to-head for decades as the world's largest commercial airplane makers. The European-based Airbus entered the market 56 years after its rival.
And the company canceled a new system that would have tracked employees at some of Boeing's offices. The company says it's removing the sensors that have been installed.
Emirates, KLM, and Qantas just dropped something that shook Boeing, and the whole aviation world is buzzing. For years, they've been Boeing's biggest fans. But now things are changing fast, and it looks like this news could shake Boeing to its core. If you've ever flown on a Boeing jet, this news might just surprise you. The future of air travel could be changing right before our eyes. But why now? What went wrong?
So I'm kind of fairly optimistic if we can get through all of this, and that there are major disruptions to the global economy, that things will continue as they were.
Join us as we reveal what sparked this sudden announcement, why it's so surprising, and how it might rewrite the future of air travel. The shocking announcement. Something big just happened in the aviation world, and no one saw it coming. Three of the world's most respected airlines, Emirates, KLM, and Qantas, just sent a strong message to Boeing. And it's the kind of message you don't send lightly, because these airlines have been Boeing's loyal customers for decades. But now, something has changed, and it's definitely something serious. So, what exactly happened? Why are these airlines suddenly shifting gears? Let's start with Emirates, the pride of the Middle East. Known for luxury, long-haul flights, and its massive Boeing fleet, Emirates has been one of Boeing's biggest customers, especially when it comes to the Boeing 777, one of the most successful long-range aircraft ever built. But in recent years, Emirates has been growing frustrated. Why? Because of constant delays in the delivery of Boeing's next-generation aircraft, the 77X. This jet was supposed to be a game-changer. Bigger, better, more efficient. But years have passed, and Emirates is still waiting. In fact, Emirates president, Tim Clark, publicly voiced his disappointment. He said the delays were hurting their operations. The airline even had to adjust its growth plans and lean more heavily on other aircraft, especially the Airbus A350, a direct rival to Boeing's offering. Think about that. A top Boeing customer now turning to Airbus for help. That's no small move. But guess what? It gets even more intriguing from here. Next, we fly over to Australia. Qantas, the national airline, has long flown Boeing 737s, those smaller jets you take on short and medium trips. But just recently, Qantas shocked the industry. Instead of sticking with Boeing for their fleet renewal, they chose Airbus. Yes, Airbus. They've placed major orders for the Airbus A321XLR, an aircraft known for going further and using less fuel. It's a jet that's changing the game, allowing airlines to fly long distances without using big, expensive planes. But that's not all. Qantas also picked the Airbus A350 for their bold Project Sunrise, ultra-long-haul flights that will take passengers non-stop from Sydney to London or New York. Now, the tricky thing is that that's a job Boeing hoped to win, but they didn't. Qantas made it clear. They want reliability, and they believe Airbus is delivering it faster and better. And now, let's head to Europe. KLM, the Dutch national airline, is another long-time Boeing customer. Their blue Boeing 737s and 777s are a common sight at airports across Europe and beyond. But quietly, KLM has also been shifting its focus. They've started placing more emphasis on the Airbus A321neo family for future growth. Their parent company, Air France-KLM, has already committed to Airbus for most of its narrow-body fleet. And while KLM hasn't publicly broken up with Boeing, their actions say a lot. They're investing more in modern Airbus aircraft and slowly stepping away from a Boeing partnership that once looked unshakable. Now pause for a moment. Let's look at the big picture. 3 airlines, 3 continents. Each one once stood firmly in Boeing's corner. But now, they're questioning, changing, and sadly, walking away. That's more than coincidence. It's a signal, a sign that Boeing's long-standing reputation may be cracking, and that competitors like Airbus are stepping in to fill the gaps. You may be wondering, so why is all this happening now? Well, Boeing has had a rough few years. From the 737 MAX disasters to delays in delivering the 787 and 777X, the company has been under massive pressure. There have been investigations, grounded jets, halted production lines, and even leadership shakeups. For airlines, time is money, and when delays drag on and safety concerns make headlines, trust begins to fade. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. But wait, let's be fair. Boeing isn't just sitting back. The company is investing billions to fix production issues, improve quality control, and regain airline trust. They've promised faster delivery times and better communication with partners. Still, is it enough? Or are we watching the start of a slow, steady shift in the skies? You might be wondering again, okay, but what does this mean for me? A lot, actually. When airlines choose newer planes like the Airbus A350 or A321XLR, passengers win. These jets are quieter, smoother, more fuel efficient, and often have better cabins, from bigger windows to comfier seats. It also means new flight routes are coming. Non-stop journeys that were once impossible, like Sydney to New York, are now within reach, thanks to these new aircraft. So yes, these airline decisions may seem like corporate moves, but they're also changing how we fly, how far we go, and how much we enjoy the journey. So, Emirates, Qantas, and KLM just made choices that could reshape the future of aviation. They're looking beyond Boeing, and that's no small shift. But what happens next? Will Boeing bounce back? Will more airlines follow suit? How it all started for Boeing. After hearing how Emirates, Qantas, and KLM are moving away from Boeing, let's look deeper. Why is this happening now? The answer lies in Boeing's recent stumbles, mainly with the 777X and 787 Dreamliner. The 777X was supposed to be Boeing's next big thing, a modern, fuel-efficient jet with folding wingtips and a massive capacity. But from the start, the program hit brakes. Originally scheduled for first delivery in 2019, the timeline shattered. Boeing faced development issues, cracks in components, pause in flight tests, and a delayed FAA certification process. Then, in late 2024, Boeing went through a huge U.S. machinist strike. More than 30,000 workers stopped work at key plants. Production of the 737 MAX, 767, and 777X ground to a halt. Boeing had to lay off 17,000 employees, nearly 10% of its workforce. The result? The 777X delivery bumped to 2026, at least 6 years behind schedule. For airlines like Emirates, this was a big blow. They invested heavily in the 777X, 150 planes in the order, and watched as delays ate into their growth plans. In public, Emirates' Tim Clark said they would have a serious conversation with Boeing. Years of trust were shaken. Next came the 787 Dreamliner, a jet praised for its comfort and fuel efficiency. But behind the scenes, Boeing was fixing quality control issues. From 2019 to 2025, Boeing discovered problems like fuselage gaps, misinstalled fasteners, and issues with vertical tail fins. The FAA found that Boeing had failed to properly inspect and certify over 900 Dreamliners, leading to a halt in deliveries for almost a year. That pause cost Boeing about $5.5 billion. Airlines that planned to start new routes or refresh fleets had to wait, and some moved on or chose other jets. The final blow came in June 2025 with a deadly crash of an Air India Boeing 787 shortly after takeoff. Over 240 lives were lost. Although the FAA eventually cleared the model, this was the first fatal Dreamliner incident since the jet was introduced in 2011. The crash revived past fears, from the 737 MAX disasters to the 787 battery fires in 2013, and put Boeing under fresh scrutiny. Meanwhile, Airbus seemed to be gaining ground. Their jets, the A350, A321XLR, and A320neo family, were consistently delivered on time. They offered long-range capability, fuel efficiency, and modern cabins. At the 2025 Paris Air Show, Airbus looked strong. They announced nearly $10 billion in orders, a 350S for Riyadh Air, a 320neos for Elot, and a 350 freighters. Boeing, by contrast, scaled back its presence, withdrawing its CEO due to the recent Air India crash. So airlines grew more patient with Airbus, less so with Boeing. Emirates, Qantas, KLM all felt the pressure. They couldn't wait years for planes. They needed reliable delivery to expand, launch routes, or meet regulatory goals. They watched Airbus step in without major hiccups. This changed the balance. Boeing's delays didn't just cause inconvenience, they damaged the airline-manufacturer relationship. But let's look at what Airbus offered. The A321XLR flies longer without needing a big plane. It's perfect for Qantas's and Iberia's new routes. The A350-900 ULR can go non-stop for 20 hours, ideal for Project Sunrise. Airlines saw a win. On-time jets, new routes, better fuel burn. Boeing's lag meant missed chances. Boeing did fight back. New CEO Kelly Ortberg took charge. The company improved communication with airlines, ended the shadow factory fixes, paid fines, agreed to safety steps, and worked to regain FAA certification. Even Emirates cheered the improvements. But the real question, will time heal Boeing's reputation? Or has the shift started? Undoubtedly, new routes are being launched with Airbus jets. Some airlines are delaying Boeing orders or canceling them. Boeing is now offering incentives, extra training, parts, support to keep partners. But here's the bottom line. Boeing stumbled. Through delayed 77X, flawed 787 production, tragic crashes, strikes, and massive costs, Airbus took the opportunity, with reliable jets, new routes, and smiling customers. That's why Emirates, Qantas, and KLM are shifting now. They're not jumping, just choosing airlines that can deliver on time and on promise. As Boeing works to recover, the battle for dominance is resetting. Airlines decide which partner will deliver growth, reliability, and growth in a more uncertain world. You would agree that the aviation world is in motion. What began as a surprise shift by Emirates, Qantas, and KLM has turned into a broader wave affecting many airlines. At the heart of this movement is one central shift. Boeing's grip on the commercial jet market is loosening, and other players are stepping in. Just a year ago, Boeing's world felt solid. But recent events shook things up. In 2024, Boeing delivered only around 340 to 350 aircraft, barely half of what their rival Airbus did, which stood near 760 to 770. That left Boeing with roughly 30% of new jet deliveries, its weakest position since the 737 MAX grounding in 2019. Meanwhile, Airbus held steadier ground, delivering strong numbers even close to its own targets. At the 2025 Paris Air Show, Airbus aimed for 820 deliveries this year and confirmed steady order momentum, while Boeing kept a lower profile, focusing on internal recovery. What this means is clear. Boeing is no longer the uncontested leader. Airbus is larger, busier, and gaining new territory. But wait, are others also flocking to Airbus? This shift isn't isolated to the big airlines. Smaller carriers are paying attention. Qatar Airways, once a Boeing supporter, canceled a Boeing 737 MAX 10 order and doubled down with Airbus. Low-cost airlines from across the globe are ordering big numbers of A320neo and A321XLR, drawn by modern designs and better fuel efficiency. At the Paris Air Show, Airbus locked in $21 billion in new orders, including for A321XLRs A220s, and A350 freighters. This surge shows Airbus has momentum. Though Boeing closed some deals, they were fewer and came as they were scaling back their exhibit. Airbus is showing its ability to deliver widely across regions. North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, all full of airlines agreeing to big orders. Emerging markets, rising. Even markets with heavy local airline players are taking notice. Low-cost carriers in Asia, Africa, and Latin America are increasingly turning to Airbus, thanks to modern, efficient aircraft that fit smaller markets better. These airlines can now fly new routes directly, bypassing big hubs and tapping into unserved demand. Meanwhile, China's hopeful Comac C919 is still finding footing. Many airlines are watching, but hesitating. The jet is newer, less tested, and lacks the support network that Airbus and Boeing provide. It may be a contender in the future, but today it remains outside the main competition circle. But what does this mean for passengers all over the world? Impact of the shift. This isn't just industry talk, it's real change for travelers. A new jet flying overhead affects your journey more than you might know. First, there's safety and reliability. Airbus jets, like the A321NE family and A350, have fewer public safety controversies and deliver on schedule. In contrast, Boeing's safety troubles, from the MAX incidents to the 787 crash, still hang in the air. Seeing new Airbus jets offers travelers a sense of calm confidence. Next comes route innovation. Modern jets have extended reach and better fuel efficiency. The A321XLR can fly nearly 4,700 nautical miles, which opens surprising non-stop routes like New York-Rome or Madrid-Washington, without needing a double-aisle plane. Airlines are exploring thin, long routes that couldn't make sense before. Imagine jumping from a small hub city straight to far-off spots. These newer jets also bring sharper passenger perks. They're quieter, offer modern interiors, and often feature premium economy, adjustable lighting, larger overhead bins, and better in-flight entertainment and Wi-Fi. Simply, the in-flight experience is becoming nicer. There is a flip side. With Airbus jetports running full and Boeing unable to supply reliably, available seats drop. During busy travel times, that can nudge fares up. So while the rides improve, the wallet might feel a pinch. Undoubtedly, the fallout for Boeing came fast and hard. A string of production troubles, safety worries, financial losses, and stalled growth put the entire company and the aviation world on notice. But Boeing didn't stand still. It launched a powerful response that could redefine its future. We already mentioned that Boeing went as far as investing $21 billion to a sweeping recovery. This isn't just money, it's a statement. Boeing is funding fixes to long-standing flaws in production, safety systems, and supply chains. Boeing is revamping inspection routines and automation systems to catch issues earlier. Drone cameras and AI help spot tiny manufacturing faults. Many suppliers had delays or quality dips. Boeing is investing in their plants, adding staff and resources to ensure parts arrive on time and meet standards. Also, substantial investments are going toward better line layouts, workflow software, and modern equipment. Plus, Boeing is putting employees through new safety courses and workshops to rebuild a culture of honesty and transparency, one that encourages staff to speak up without fear. But that's not all. Selling non-core units, renegotiating vendor deals, and tapping capital markets has strengthened their balance sheet, making sure this recovery effort won't collapse under its own weight. All of these measures aim to return Boeing to safe, efficient production. The depth of the effort shows Boeing understands the scale of the crisis it faces. Wait, we hear of a leadership shakeup? Could this be true? This seismic strategy came with a shift at the top. In 2025, Boeing appointed Kelly Ortberg as its new CEO. His mandate? Rebuild reputation, deliver results, and restore faith. Ortberg launched monthly updates to airlines, regulators, employees, and investors. These covered delivery timelines, certification progress, and safety improvements. Top executives, including product leaders and project heads, were replaced as part of the cleanup. Boeing is sending a message. Mistakes at the top cost careers. Boeing is cooperating more fully with the FAA and global safety bodies, offering on-site audits and pilot briefings to assure regulators and airlines that standards now meet or exceed expectations. Ortberg challenges the company to meet its commitments by showing clear results, and his consistent presence reassures anxious partners that Boeing is serious about change. What's more, a key part of recovery is restarting production to satisfy airlines and regain revenue. 737 MAX. Boeing plans to increase output from 26 jets per month to 38 per month by late 2025. Regulators support this boost, provided Boeing meets safety benchmarks. How about the 787 Dreamliner? Once paused for quality reasons, are resuming slowly with full inspections and fixed processes. And 777X, once delayed till 2026, Boeing is accelerating test programs, streamlining final taxi checks, and communicating clear delivery windows to foundational customers like Emirates. The sky's the limit, but Boeing has to maintain quality while closing the backlog. But guess what? Not everyone is convinced. Industry watchers, former Boeing employees, and even airline planners have weighed in on the matter. Some applaud the bold plan. Many say the money is flowing where it's needed: quality control, communication, and culture. And Boeing is acting more like a nimble tech company than a lumbering industrial giant. Skeptics warn this is a surface-level repair. They see old mistakes resurfacing, tight production schedules encouraging shortcuts, safety culture still weak, and costs piling up without visible profit yet. Regulators are cautious. The FAA has to confirm Boeing can safely scale up, and they're closely watching every move. Every new MAX or 787 still undergoes rigorous review before being allowed in the sky. Airlines are watching too. Orders are back, but many are lingering with Airbus as a fallback option. Boeing's biggest customers say they're reopening talks, but only after seeing solid deliveries and no more surprises. Signs of progress? Yes. Early 2025 showed bigger monthly deliveries than late 2024. Boeing says it cleared a significant portion of its backlog. Also, Boeing's new third-party inspectors are flagging fewer defects, and production slowdowns are down 40% compared with a year ago. Plus, employees report higher confidence in reporting errors and seeing management address issues faster. That builds trust, but it also needs sustained follow-through. The aviation world now watches Boeing's next steps closely. Airlines, especially the big buyers like American, United, Emirates, and Qantas, will make multi-billion-dollar decisions based on Boeing's future performance in the coming year. Success means returning to dominance. Missteps could mean Boeing never regains old ground. In short, we can say that Boeing is fighting back. But are the fixes enough, or are they too late? That brings us to the end of the video. So what do you think? Has your trust in Boeing shifted, or do you believe Boeing still has the power to fight back? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You'll enjoy it. See you next time.